you ever considered that the pain of the very own trauma that you experience is what keeping you stuck from the life and the future that you want? Welcome to Living Intentionally, the podcast that empowers driven women to get unstuck and to take their personal and professional lives to the next level. I'm your host, Carmen Benton. I am here to help you create the life you truly desire without burning out. And as a leading expert in living with amplified alignment between your mind, your energy, and your soul purpose, I'll be sharing valuable insights on mindset, energy, self-care, business, and much more. Plus, you get to hear from inspired women who have successfully built businesses and lives that are both meaningful and fulfilling. Join us as we dive into the topic that matter most and uncover the secrets to living intentionally. Welcome to today's episode of Living Intentionally. Today, we're going to talk about my chapter on the Women's Drive Volume 2 book, True Inspiring Stories of Women Overcoming Adversity. And you've heard from some of my co-authors in the last couple of weeks. If you haven't, please go listen and watch, because these stories, these women are amazing, and I want you to get to know them. I want you to understand the power that we are handing you over with this amazing book that's coming for sale on November 2nd, so this week. And I wanted today to share with you my chapter that I have saved for the launch week. And my chapter in this book is all about transmuting pain into personal freedom with the alchemy power of forgiveness. And it is so amazingly orchestrated by the universe that as I'm talking about the alchemy power of forgiveness, I am, even though you're seeing me here, this is pre-recorded, I am in Egypt right now, working with this very energy and force to alchemize all kind of stuff in my life. And so this idea of this chapter wasn't necessarily what ended up being at the end. Again, I channeled the entire chapter for you. But my intention with this chapter was to put out in the world something that will help you with whatever you needed. And as I started writing, it morphed into this own healing experience for myself, which is beautiful. And so the story of me healing my relationship with my daughter, Sophia, that's what this chapter is about. But you're going to see that in order for me to do that, in order to heal the future, I needed to heal the past, and I needed to heal the present. So even though my journey with my awakening and all that was like, oh my God, holy crap, I need to go fix this thing that I have messed up myself. It wasn't until I went back and healed not only my relationship with my mom, but I helped with energy heal the relationships of past generations, because this same vicious cycle of neglect, emotional abandonment was repeated over and over and over many times. And no surprising with everything we know now about epigenetics and how trauma is carried in your DNA for up to 14 generations, but I'm going to say that it's probably more than that, because your DNA code carries within not only the very same traits that make us human, but also the things that help us survive generation after generation. So if you had to become a certain way to be able to survive something, it gets coded automatically into your DNA. That's how smart sacred geometry is, so you can survive it. Next generations can survive it. So imagine building this mud pie, because that's really what it is, of trauma upon trauma upon trauma upon trauma. And here gets to Carmen, years, generations and generations and generations. And fortunately, here we are in this space-time reality where I had the tools, the awakening, the desire to stop it. And that's basically what I told myself is like, this bullshit stops right here with me. It's not going to carry any forward. And this kind of like what my purpose is. I have healed the past. I had to forgive myself for falling into the same trap without knowing it, right? I had to demonstrate this insane amount of compassion towards myself for falling into the same patterns that I vowed not to. And now I have the responsibility because I have the knowledge, right? And I have the tools and I have the gifts and the connection to be able to heal it. Now it is my responsibility to heal it forward. And none of that could have happened without one single thing: forgiveness. So I was watching a video yesterday, quite frankly, and there was something that was said in that video about forgiveness. And I have never seen the word forgiveness this way. For gift. It's a gift for someone. That someone is not the offenders in your life. That person that you are giving the gift for gift is you. Because when you learn to forgive in a way that goes beyond what this human body can understand, but it's really at the soul level, you now can take your DNA and unlock, release all these coding that are causing you to live in disassociation from your soul, from your higher self. Because that's what's happening, right? Your higher self, your pure essence, your connection with source wants nothing but for you to live in joy and love, pure unconditional love, enlightenment. And any emotion that separates you from that keeps you from living the life that you're here to live. And it's all that mud that's being stuck in the walls of your DNA that is interfering with that connection. But there is this one key, this one thing that will allow you to crack open and release all that poison in your body. And it's forgiveness. And it's well known that anger, resentment, sadness, depression will create diseases in your body. And what if I tell you that forgiveness is the one alchemy tool that you need today to reverse all that? And in case you don't know what alchemy is, it's the science and the power in which lead becomes gold. A very common, not very useful, almost toxic metal becomes the most valuable thing known to humankind. Lead to gold alchemy, pain to personal freedom. That's what we're doing with forgiveness. And this is a story I'm sharing with you in this chapter. I'm sharing with you things about me that most people don't know. And I can promise you one thing. After you read this chapter, you will never see me with the same eyes. And you will never see yourself with the same eyes. Because my hope, with me being completely raw and vulnerable here, is that you can give yourself the grace and the gift of forgiveness. So I hope with the sharing that all my co-authors have done. There's one more coming next week, and myself are doing in this book, in this podcast for this book, that you are excited to go get it. It's going to be in Amazon November 2nd, and we're going to have a virtual party, and I want you to come and join us. So I'll see you there. Bye-bye. Hey there. Thank you for tuning into today's episode of Living Intentionally, the podcast where we explore ways to live with purpose and fulfillment. If you're new here, make sure to hit the follow button so you never miss an episode. You can find me on Instagram and TikTok at the Carmen Benton. I'm your host, Carmen Benton. I'll be back next week with more insights and inspiration.